Meet Jordan, 29 years old, has had $1,000 sitting in a savings account for over a year, earning $4 a month in interest. Every time Jordan opens an investing app, the same thought arrives: what if I lose it all? The $1,000 never moves. It just sits, quietly losing value to inflation while feeling completely safe. Meet Aisha, same age, same city, same starting amount, $1,000 sitting untouched for the exact same reason: fear of loss. 14 months ago, she moved it, not into individual stocks, not into anything dramatic, into a single boring index fund. Today, that $1,000 is worth $1,187. Not because Aisha got lucky, but because she understood exactly what she was buying, and that understanding is the entire difference between Jordan's frozen $1,000 and Aisha's growing one. What fear of investing is actually about. Jordan's fear is not really about losing money. If it were purely about loss, Jordan would also be terrified of inflation, which is guaranteed to erode that $1,000's purchasing power every single year it sits still. The real fear is not understanding the mechanism. Nobody explained what a share of an index fund actually represents, so the stock market feels abstract and dangerous rather than what it actually is: partial ownership in hundreds of real, operating businesses. Here is the comparison that changes the calculation entirely. $1,000 left in a standard savings account at 0.4% APY is worth $1,004 after year 1 and $1,041 after 10 years. In a high-yield savings account at 4.5% APY, it is worth $1,045 after year 1 and $1,553 after 10 years. In an S&P 500 index fund at an 8% historical average, it is worth $1,080 after year 1 and $2,159 after 10 years. Jordan's $1,000 left in standard savings is worth barely more after a full decade than what Aisha's grew to in just 14 months in the market. What an index fund actually is. A single share of a total market or S&P 500 index fund gives you fractional ownership across hundreds or thousands of companies simultaneously. When Aisha bought her first shares, she was not betting on one company's fate. She owned a tiny sliver of Apple, of a regional bank, of a healthcare company, of a utility provider, all at once, through one purchase. This structural diversification is precisely why, according to S&P Dow Jones Indices SPIVA report, roughly 90% of actively managed funds underperform their benchmark index over a 20-year period. Professional fund managers with research teams and years of experience still lose to this simple structure the majority of the time. The rule Aisha followed that Jordan never learned. Before investing a single dollar, Aisha applied one filter: is this money I will genuinely not need for at least 3 to 5 years? Her $1,000 passed the test. She already had a separate, fully funded emergency fund covering 3 months of expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, completely untouched. This single distinction is the most common mistake among beginner investors. Investing money that might be needed within a year means being forced to sell during a downturn, locking in a loss that would have recovered given more time. Aisha's emergency fund existed specifically so her $1,000 investment never had to answer to a short-term emergency. How Aisha actually did it, step by step. Step 1. Opened a brokerage account with Fidelity, no fee, no minimum balance requirement. Step 2. Selected a single low-cost S&P 500 index fund with an expense ratio under 0.05%, meaning less than 50 cents a year in fees per $1,000 invested. Step 3. Used fractional share purchasing to invest the full $1,000 immediately, rather than waiting to save up for whole shares. Step 4. Set up a small $50 per month automatic contribution going forward, turning the one-time $1,000 into an ongoing habit. Step 5. Turned off daily balance notifications. Check the account once a month, not once a day. That fifth step mattered more than people expect. Checking a new investment daily during normal market fluctuation, which happens constantly and means nothing over a multi-year horizon, creates anxiety that leads directly to panic selling at exactly the wrong moment. The secret weapon: where to park cash you're not ready to fully invest. Here's what Aisha did with the next $1,000 she saved 6 months later, money she wasn't yet emotionally ready to put fully into the stock market, but didn't want sitting at 0.4% either. She used a Treasury bill ETF, specifically SGOV. It currently yields close to 4%, is backed directly by the US government, trades like a stock through any brokerage account, and critically, the interest is exempt from state income tax. It became her bridge between too scared to invest and fully in the market. A middle step almost nobody talks about that let her build confidence with the mechanics of a brokerage account before committing new money to equities. The takeaway: Jordan's $1,000 is not safe. It is guaranteed to lose real value to inflation, quietly, indefinitely, while feeling completely risk-free. Aisha's $1,000 carries short-term volatility but has historically recovered from every downturn to reach new highs over any meaningful time horizon. The fear of investing is really a fear of not understanding what you're buying, and understanding it, even for the first $1,000, is the entire unlock.